Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 Robots cast. Starcraft 2 bots have been getting pretty darn good these days. And we have got a couple of bots that have cast a few times. Actually just cast this bot. It's playing a different race now though. It's cast tier T, now cast in tier P, which I believe is the original tier bot. And then taking it on is going to be a bot that I haven't cast for a while, because usually the games are absurdly long. It's Ketroc bot. That might not be the case this game though, with the strategy 1 base Banshee Cyclone being tagged. So, we've got ourselves a TVP, two very good Starcraft bots on the map Hardwire. Ketroc's bot in the past seemed very, very strong. In regards to, it seemed very strong just with its turtle strategy, almost unbreakable. It's been a while since I followed that, or something like that, because the games are very long. Yeah, we'll see whether it's going to be aggressive or defensive, how tier will do against it. The fact that Ketroc's bot printed tag 52 seconds versus Protoss makes me wonder, is tier queuing as random? I know that the bot has multiple race capabilities, so it makes me wonder if it is queuing as random, so that there has to be a check for that for Ketroc's bot, or maybe it's just doing that for its own benefit. Yeah, let's take a look here. A bunker on the way for Ketroc bot. So it said 1 base Banshee Cyclone, going for a bunker at the natural though, so very well could expand in the future. A single marine out now. And the defensive structures in bot games are incredibly strong because you gotta have a lot of finesse to break them. Now we take a look here. We have got the natural base going up for tier, going for a probe scout as well, checking for proxies and cheese, which is good to see. Then yeah, just a really normal Protoss opening. I think this is one of the things that sort of makes tier a staple. It looks like quite a normal Protoss player. Quite a normal Protoss player, but it's a bot. And now we see a single Stalker opening. Going to be going for that. Not chrono boosting out the Stalker, just continuously chrono boosting out the probes, going for that hard eco. Then we're seeing a probe transfer being queued on up, getting those probes to the natural base. Yeah, just going for that big economy, all the while Ketroc bot is going for a 1 base play here. Got a tank on the way, I believe it said 1 base Banshee Cyclone, so the tank doesn't fit quite into that, but with the second factory on the way, I'm sure we'll see some more of that coming soon. We take a look, just, yeah, producing lots of units here. Here is going for a Robo, which is a very good defensive structure when it comes to playing against these 1 bases. Now, whether there's going to be a shield battery produced at the natural to defend this, I think is going to be very, very critical to whether tier is going to be able to hold a potential attack coming. Ketroc's bot does go for an expansion, but it's definitely going for some aggression here with how late that expo is, or should be going for aggression anyway. A Widow Mine out, a tank getting set up at the natural, or who knows, maybe Ketroc's bot is just going to chill. We got an eBay on the way as well, so maybe it is just going to turtle, and that opening text kind of bamboozled us. Maybe once it realized it was playing against Protoss, it changed its mind. But I don't think that's the case here, as there is 2 Cyclones on the way. No starports, so no sign of that Banshee just yet, but Cyclones are indeed going to be a threat here for tier. Not so much of a threat before that mag field's done, but once mag field accelerator's done, you really got to take that threat seriously as the Protoss. Now, economy-wise goes, tier definitely in the lead here, with Ketroc bot delaying its natural base. Turret's going up for Ketroc's bot, so building that strong defensive foundation, even though it's potentially going to be the aggressive bot as well. Now we take a look. A 3rd Nexus going to be getting up for tier here. Forge Twilight Council coming up as well for tier, so going to be going for that tech. Got a few gateways up, so it has decent unit production at this point. Probe transfer going up to that 3rd base, going to be saturating that up as quickly as possible. Great to see. It is cutting probe production a little bit here, getting those pylons, getting that tech up. But there we go, now producing 3 probes at a time. So going to have a very, very strong economy. which is in contrast to Ketroc's bot, which is investing in tons of defense, invested in quite a few units early on, Hellions, Cyclones, tanks on the way. So gonna be going for some yeah, just the usual Ketroc bot defensive play. That one base very well could have just been a one base sort of expand safety opening. Mule being pulled off automatically. Good to see Terran bots with that behavior. Why waste minerals when you don't have to? Planetary gonna take a fade out on these rocks, which is interesting. And then yeah, Tyr just making charge, getting up immortals. Not making any probes, interestingly enough. So there we go. There's a production boom of a 4th Nexus. All of a sudden, all sorts of units and buildings being produced. So Tyr going for a very quick expand, which I think is a safe bet against a bot that is more defensive, like Ketroc's bot. And interestingly enough, Ketroc's bot canceled its natural base. I wonder what that's about. Whether it's just rely on the planetary for defense, which I don't think is wrong, and then just build up more tanks and such. Tyr, yeah, gonna have a very strong economy though. You gotta respect that as Ketroc bot. But it's all about the efficiency for Ketroc bot, playing this defensive style. Siege tanks on the way, more and more tanks. And then Tyr going for a hallucinated Phoenix, gonna try and scout this out. We'll see if there's any chat tags to let us know exactly what way the AI is thinking. Tyr gonna have that 4th base up, just done momentarily, however. And then we'll see if it's gonna keep expanding or pivot towards an attack. I think it's gonna go for an attack as this 4th base gets up, really power up on 4 bases. Although if it does keep expanding, I wouldn't be against that, as I'd love to see a turtle Ketroc bot against a late game Protoss. See how that works as far as these bots go. I don't think we've actually seen Ketroc, or I personally in a while haven't seen Ketroc's bot turtle against Protoss. So that is exciting. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this game, we have got 69 probes through Tyr, a very nice number to stop at. So let's go for 69 likes on this video. If we can do that, that would be awesome. And leave a comment in the description if you want to see more of these bot games. Say more bots, as Ketroc's bot's moving out. Going to be taking a 3rd and a 4th base simultaneously, it looks like, which is a bit of an interesting way to expand. But with all these tanks, I think it should be fine to defend, particularly as Tyr is just staying back, building up the immortal count higher and higher, getting up robos on the way, 1-1 on the way, blink on the way. No 5th base just yet. I'd love to see a 5th start up soon, either a 5th or an attack. I think you don't want to stay on 4 bases for too long, particularly as now Ketroc's going to be on 4 bases. Ketroc's bot's actually moving out, going to be going for an attack. Is it? Oh, that seems a little preemptive for Ketroc's bot, and that could really backfire. I mean, there's 15 charged zealots that could close the gap here and get on top of this army, so Ketroc's bot's got to be careful, but it is moving on in. Blink isn't done yet for these stalkers, so they can't get in, but these zealots are going to be very good, along with the immortals, at breaking this. If Tyr commits forward, if it trickles into the tanks, that would be a problem, but it is going to pick off a decent number of those tanks. Trades on out. Tyr only engaging with a few of its units, so a little bit of a bad engagement there for the bot. These Hellions were actually distracting, pulling some of this army away. At least Tyr does respond to take care of these, but then there's Hellions now at the natural base, so we're at the 3rd base, pardon me, so lots of damage getting done here by Ketroc bot. A bit of a 1-2 punch, very effectively done. No response from Tyr yet. There we go, now some units are coming on in. We'll see if these probes are going to be replaced as well during this. This Widow Mine, due to the armory, is not being killed off, but it's kind of distracting away from these Hellions. Blink detected, says Ketroc bot. So going to be privy to that. We'll see if there's any behavior changes that we can even notice. But all in all, an attack that you don't think would get a lot of damage done just got a lot of damage done by Ketroc bot. Is there an observer out here? There is, but it's not moving on this Widow Mine. Oh no, where's the observer? Why are you just chilling there, observer? Oh dear, this Widow Mine is gonna get a lot of damage done. These Protoss units couldn't be more clumped up. It's already at 4 kills. That number's gonna go up. Oh dear. Tyr having a bit of derpage here, as that observer is not moving. There's a constant clicking on it. What's that about? Interesting. But yeah, that Widow Mine's gonna fire again, kills off the sentry. Still no observer coming into play, so Tier bot really, really punishing itself here, just by its control. Banshee cloaks. 2 more observers get fired up. That Banshee may have actually been been the trigger to kind of save Tier there, as who knows how long it would have sat on that Widow Mine had that Banshee not come in. To sort of prompt it to build more observers and move its observer. Now we take a look here. That Banshee is going to get picked off. Ketroc's bot has had a lot of time to build up and expand though, and oh my gosh, it really does that. Banshee report died, 0 kills, 0 min gas. I'm not sure what the second is. I wonder what the 0S, is that seconds or supply, I guess? Yeah, supply. That makes sense. Yeah, Ketroc spot just expanded all over the place. The mass expansions, while if they're not punished, is an incredibly strong strategy. Tier spot is maxed out, but is not attacking at all. A Stargate's on the way. Upgrades are still on the way, but the defense, the expansion game of Tier is kind of lacking here. That Banshee is being tagged by the Stalkers there, but the harassment from Ketroc spot is really pulling Tier apart. No shield batteries in sight. No cannons, things that would help out against this kind of harassment. You'd like to think that you could program a bot to have perfect defense, but that is not the case here. And so maybe some of that would help out, but then again, who knows? Maybe Tier's just going to attack and win the game. That being said, regardless, it's not going to be easy to clean up all these bases that are going to be planetaries and clean up the army here of Ketroc's bot. Tier really needs to take a good fight. There is a Raven. Is that going to get blinked on? Yeah, this is one of the things which we see, how hard it is to program a bot to respond to certain strategies. And right now, Tier is really having a tough go against against the strategy of Ketroc's bot just being bogged down by this harassment, pulling all of its army back to deal with that harassment. If there was a cannon or 2 or some shield batteries, that would make that much easier. The Banshees are doing work. The observers have got to be positioned properly, though, for Tier. The bot is still maxed out. The Protoss bot still maxed out. 80 workers, a full army, getting up 5th Nexus, but with 5 Banshees on the way, it's a little bit worrisome here, as the trades for Ketroc's bot are looking pretty darn good. Cost efficiency just going to go up if these Banshees keep getting more and more units picked off. Even a scan goes down to kill off the observer. That's going to make life a lot harder for Tier. A Phoenix is on the way for the anti-air, which I think isn't too bad, actually, as Phoenix can chase down Banshees, kill the Ravens, as long as there's not too many Vikings for Ketroc's bot. The Immortals are going to right-click on this base, so going to kill this off, which is actually very good, before the Banshees start to work on them. And they will work on these Immortals and kill them off, but Ketroc's bot has plenty of bases to make up for that and has taken more. More and more Banshees are on the way as well. Tier's bot just making Immortals and Stalkers after throwing some away, so that's not good to see. The Stalkers are coming in, but there's no detection on the Banshees. Oh no! Oh gosh, Ketroc is about to get a lot of resources picked off here. Cyclone's coming on in. Stalkers do blink on top of the Cyclone, but yeah. Here's an observer. There we go. Can these Banshees be picked off, or will Ketroc's bot manage to snipe the observer? The Banshees fan out immediately when they realize they're detected. Stalkers working away on this base as well, but the SCV repair is good. These Immortals put out a lot of damage though, so this PF will be broken. A good attack here by Tier. Is there enough Stalkers to deal with all these Banshees? I think so, but whether they can compete with the micro of these Banshees with their HYPERFLIGHT rotors, that's the bigger question. Another planetary is being targeted down by Tier. Tier also expanding while this is going on, so really turning it around. What a great game this is. I know I was harping on Tier a little bit, but results speak for themselves. As all of a sudden, well, that was what, 4 bases of Ketroc's bot that got picked off. We see another attack going down here. This base was never turned into a planetary as Ketroc's bot, losing SCVs, decided to prioritize building more SCVs. Ketroc's bot's got a 14.0 tag saturation error. Interesting. I wonder what exactly that pertains to. Maybe trying to avoid one of them SCV producing loops, but Tier does have to consolidate a little bit if it is ever going to deal with all these Banshees, as these Banshees are now a serious threat being uncontested. There's 3 Phoenix out. I'm not sure where they are. There we go. One's coming on in, but the Vikings are going to be a threat to them. Just realizing now that these Phoenixes aren't hallucinations, says Ketroc. Let's take a look here. The Banshee is chasing some of the... Or the Banshee is being chased by the Phoenix there. We see Ketroc tagging a Medivac. I'm not sure why that is, but these Phoenix are doing good work chasing the Banshees, forcing them to cloak. If there was full detection, they'd definitely be killing off a lot more, but they are doing a good job of shutting them down. That's great to see. I feel like I'm rooting for Tyr a little bit here because I know as a caster I'm not supposed to, but we know how Ketroc's bot plays out. So it very much is on the other bot as far as how it deals with this kind of strategy, if that makes any sense. Although, yeah, Tyr seems to be doing pretty good here. Ketroc's bot just churning out the Banshees. Is it getting the efficiency that it needs? I mean, it's got 7,000 more resources killed off. However, it has not replaced any of these bases that the mining has been having a tough go. We see Tyr coming on in. If Tyr's able to break this base, that would be big success here. As Ketroc's economy, I'm not sure, could recover, and it looks like that base is going to go down. So Tyr really showing a lot of success. The Banshees have been microing around and getting good trades, I think. I mean, how many Banshees have died? It's been 14, which isn't that many when you compare it to how many Stalkers, being like 75 at this point, and rising. But then just Tyr going for that big attack, being able to break all those planetaries, really set Ketroc's bot back. It does not have that high of an income to replace these units, and now the fourth mining base has just been picked off. I mean, there's a third being rebuilt, but that is, or I guess that's a fourth or a fifth technically, but that is not very good here for Ketroc bot. Tyr's base really, or Tyr really doing a lot of damage here. The Stalkers trading out even poorly at this point. You're starting to wonder, just is that enough? How many units can Ketroc's bot afford to replace? If this third gets back up, that might breathe some more life back into Ketroc bot. It's got a very significant army in all these Banshees, the Vikings, and Ravens. The Viking count is pretty high now as well, being able to snipe off those observers potentially, if there is enough orbitals to scan, and it looks like there is. 2 orbitals left. Ketroc's bot coming on in here, going for a counterattack. This Nexus took damage earlier, but it was never finished off. We'll see if Tyr can muster a defense, or if Ketroc's able to swing back. The Banshees are picking off the Stalkers. The Banshees being isolated and in a larger group against single Stalkers, they do pretty darn good for themselves. The Stalkers get shots off, but the Banshees really are trading efficiently here. Zealots coming forward. I don't think they're going to do too much against the mass Banshee here, and it really is comical to see how bots almost not changing their course at times makes them have a lot of success. Like, you'd think, oh, my opponent's building Banshees, go hard into air to counter it, but no, Tyr's just gone for Mortals and Zealots, and it had success earlier, but it's putting it in a very weak position now, as Ketroc's bot, which seemed to be in a very critical position, is really swinging back. I mean, there's enough Vikings to pick off the Phoenix, so the Phoenix aren't going to get easy pickoffs on this. There's not many Stalkers. Tyr's bot is trying to replace all its workers, so it's kind of caught in that trap. The Stalker working away on some of the Vikings, which is good to see. A scan goes down. One very injured Viking kills off an observer. Another observer does get out of the scan, which is good to see. But Raven's going to allow that vision there. And now Tyr is all of a sudden on the back foot, losing most of its mining, trying to replace these workers, but not having enough money. It's that loop thing, you know, keep building workers means you don't have enough of an army to defend. That's something that I don't envy these programmers trying to make their bots handle. As, yeah, Tyr just dumping all of its money into probes that are probably just going to die to Banshees, if we're being honest. No cannons, no shield batteries, that kind of thing. Stylistic choices have really made this an interesting matchup so far. Another Phoenix is on the way, and I mean, the Phoenix are getting some work done, but the Vikings, the auto turrets, are enough to shut them down. Tyr's coming forward with, what, 5 Stalkers it looks like here? That's not enough to deal with what is 22 Banshees, as Ketroc's bot is getting that economy back online. The 4th base is being rebuilt, and Tyr looked like it could potentially win, but then the classic overextension, the counterattack comes in hard, and I think Ketroc's bot's got this. I don't think Tyr's going to be able to muster a recovery, unlike Ketroc's bot did. And it just goes to show the standing army is important, and Ketroc's bot kept enough those Banshees alive. Losing 17, but then having 21 is pretty good result. The Vikings were just enough to prevent those Phoenixes from getting pickoffs on these Banshees as well. And yeah, there's not a chance that Tyr comes back from this. Just making an observer, not really having any resources, making a zealot, running into the Banshees. Yeah, I think that this one was turned around. What a close game. Great to see. And I know that sometimes it seems like I'm really critiquing the bots. It is a little redundant at times, pointing out the obvious, like, oh, this bot's not making what it should be making in this situation. But at the same time, Tyr almost won this game, mainly off the back of Zealots and Immortals, so that critique can be a little bit silly at times. And both these bots are indeed excellent bots. Ketroc's bot, a staple in the sense that it's got this style really, really perfected. Just trading efficiently, being a very difficult style to deal with. Like, Banshees require a very specific response en masse, and Protoss has got tools to deal with it, but they're not easy to program, I imagine. This is where Larva would start playing with his feet. Good to see the BM by Ketroc bot as it just fans out the command centers once again. And yeah, Tyr is done. Definitely got a tear on his face right now. And yeah, what a great game though. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching this but you aren't. I'm trying to put out as much bot content as possible. Hit that bell icon so you get a YouTube notification whenever I do put up a new video. Join the Discord, which is linked down below, as that's where I post tournament announcements, that kind of thing. Live streams if I ever live stream. And yeah, what a great game. 2 awesome bots, and feel free to suggest any more bot games if you are a bot author. I will probably cast them if you send them my way. Thanks so much for tuning on in. Thanks to Tyr for the replay suggestion. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.